Hello and welcome to the ABIMAT online safety training. This is part one of the training, which is going to be focusing on understanding online risks. Online safety could be described as the biggest threat our children face in the modern world. Technology is developing at an accelerating rate, and in reality, the government and schools are often playing catch up on the threats as they emerge. The best way to keep our children and young people safe will be to educate them and empower them so that they can be safe digital citizens. Leaders in school and your DSL team will keep you updated and informed about online safety through the annual Basic Awareness Refresher Training and staff CPD at regular intervals. Additionally, you will be asked to complete more in-depth training on a rolling basis. As online safety is now such a big topic, we will be splitting this into two online training sessions. This is part one, which will look at how we teach online safety, links to the curriculum, look at our IT systems that we use, and how we keep children safe. Part two will look at understanding online risks. If you are a new colleague, you will be asked to complete both these sessions as part of your induction. For existing colleagues, your DSL will allocate the training on a rolling basis, in most cases within a 3-year window. As ever, if you have a concern about a child or a question about the training, please speak to your DSL. We look at the session's objectives. Let's take a moment to think about why you are here. Online safety, like any aspect of safeguarding, is everyone's responsibility. We must all play a part in keeping children safe. Online safety is not just an IT job. So today we're going to be looking at what your statutory requirements are, understand your responsibility for teaching online safety. Then we're going to have a think about how our filtering and monitoring systems work, what your professional responsibilities are, and let's check you know what to do if you have a concern. Keeping children safe in education specifically mentions online safety as an area that all staff must receive training on. At the start of every year, we look at it as part of our basic awareness training. Because it's such a significant safeguarding threat, we follow this up with more in-depth training, which is what we're doing now. I hope from basic awareness that you can recall the 4 C's. The 4 C's sum up the main areas of risk, and they are content, contact, conduct, and commerce. We're going to look at these in more detail in just a moment. As the online world changes so rapidly, keeping children safe in education states that staff must be aware of emerging harms as well. And finally, you need to have a basic understanding of what filtering and monitoring is and how our systems work. So why does online safety matter so much? I'm sure you'll agree the online world is a fantastic resource for education, playing games for children, chatting with their friends and using AI tools. However, the NSPCC in October 2024 produced a briefing for online harm and abuse, and they reported that 19% of children aged 10 to 15 had been exchanging messages online with someone they'd never met before in the previous year. In 22-23, there were over 9,000 child sexual abuse offences that involved an online element. And around 1/6 of individuals who experienced online harassment offences were under the age of 18. Under 18s were also the subject of about 1/4 of reported online blackmail offences in England, Wales and Northern Ireland. As you can imagine, this can lead to real-life harm such as emotional distress, exploitation and radicalisation, to name just a few. Think about the 4 C's. The risks can be grouped into our 4 categories. Content risks include harmful material such as pornography or self-harm sites. Contact risks are when children are interacting with potentially harmful individuals online, which can lead to grooming and radicalisation. Conduct risks involve the child's own behaviour, such as bullying or sexting. And commerce risks involve scams, gambling, and in-game purchases. While there were only a few changes to keeping children safe this year, one major update focuses on understanding the terms of misinformation, disinformation, fake news, and conspiracy theories. So let's just work through those together now. Misinformation is when someone shares something that isn't true, but they believe it is. So an example of that could be a pupil sharing an untrue claim about a new health trend they saw on TikTok, thinking it's accurate. Disinformation is different. It's false information that's deliberately shared to mislead or cause harm. So an example of that would be earlier this year, a story spread on TikTok alleging certain types of birth control cause cancer. There was no scientific evidence behind this claim, yet it caused fear and upset. Fake news. Fake news often uses technology to create convincing but false content. An example of that would be during the election campaign last year, a viral deepfake video of Keir Starmer appeared online. It showed him making inflammatory remarks about border controls and terrorism. The video was AI generated and widely shared, aiming to damage his reputation. Conspiracy theories are stories that suggest secret plots or hidden agendas. My example of this one, which you may laugh at, but it is true. A viral claim said that birds aren't real and are actually government spy robots. Whilst most people dismissed it, some of our more vulnerable individuals believed it, sadly. These examples show why it's vital to help pupils think critically about what they see online. Encourage them to question sources, check facts, and talk to trusted adults. It's just another way we can help to reduce harm and keep children safe. It's part of your duty to understand that we have a filtering and monitoring system in place. Our system is run by a company called Schools Broadband. Filtering and monitoring is part of our school safeguarding strategy to keep children safe online. Filtering blocks harmful or inappropriate sites, while monitoring flags behaviour or keywords. These are tools used to protect children. It's not about surveillance. As staff, you need to know what happens when a monitoring alert is raised and who deals with it. In most schools, this goes straight to your DSL or a member of your DSL team. But you also need to remember that filtering and monitoring systems have limits. For example, pupils can still use VPNs or personal devices. So as well as having these systems in place, we need you to be observant. This is also why teaching digital resilience is part of having a strong system in place. As well as putting systems in place to keep our children safe online when they're in school, it's also important that we teach them online safety. Keeping children safe makes it clear that pupils must be taught about safeguarding, including online safety. This is mainly delivered through the RSHE and computing curriculum, but we've also got lots of opportunities to embed different aspects of it into our whole curriculum. Importantly, it's really important that we take a whole school approach to teaching online safety, from teachers to our IT staff to our senior leaders. Online safety isn't just about blocking the harmful content. It's about preparing our children to navigate the digital world safely. Teaching should cover relationships online, managing our digital footprint, cyberbullying, how to spot misinformation, disinformation, etc., and support digital well-being. Every subject area can contribute in some way. For example, English teachers can explore online media bias, while science teachers can discuss digital health impacts. The biggest change for me in the last year has been the explosion of AI onto the scene, and I'm sure you've seen all the benefits that it comes with. AI presents great opportunities as an educational tool. AI tools are increasingly part of our pupils' lives. They can support with learning and homework, translations, or even creative writing. For pupils with SEND needs, AI tools can improve accessibility. And for teachers, it can help your workload. Alongside the benefits, AI carries risks. AI tools can generate false or biased information. There's also a risk of plagiarism or over-reliance on AI in academic work. If children share personal information with AI platforms, it can create privacy and safeguarding issues. And finally, deepfakes and image manipulation can pose serious risks, from bullying to reputational harm. Our role as educators is not to ban AI, but to help pupils to use it critically and responsibly. That means teaching them to question what AI produces, helping school to develop clear policies, and us all staying informed about emerging risks. Just as we teach critical thinking for books or websites, we now must do the same for AI. So who are our most vulnerable children online? I'm sure it won't come as a surprise to you that our existing vulnerable groups are the most vulnerable children online. So we need to think about our children with SEND needs, those with mental health challenges, those that struggle with low self-esteem or social isolation. If a child has already experienced abuse or neglect, they'll be more at risk. And this will most likely include our looked after and previously looked after children. LGBTQ+ children are statistically more likely to experience online bullying, harassment, and exploitation. And so too may children who come from a minority background. They may face targeted abuse or lack of cultural sensitivity. Risk factors to consider include those children who lack digital literacy or digital supervision, when they spend a high amount of time on looking at a screen and don't have many boundaries in place at home, the children who use anonymous or unmoderated platforms. So what can we do to help? We need to have open conversations about our online experiences, both with children and their parents. We need to encourage parents to exercise parental controls and be aware of privacy settings. Some parents might need help with that. And as we've already talked about, we need to make sure that we're educating our children as part of our curriculum. You will have covered recognising signs of harm as part of your basic awareness training, but let's revisit it. There will be signs that a child will display if things aren't right online. They may have a change in their behaviour, so look out for any sudden changes or withdrawal from family and friends. If a child shows increased anxiety or mood swings, or unexplained angry outbursts, or if they lose interest in things which they used to enjoy doing. All warning signs. You might see a change in the pattern of their online behaviour. They might become secretive about what they're doing online. They might spend excessive amounts of time online, especially late at night. It's always a warning sign if you walk in a room and they quickly switch screens. There might be some verbal clues as well. They might talk about new friends that they've never met in person, or they might mention something that they've seen online which has upset them. These can be a sign of a cry for help. There are also some physical and social indicators. Look for changes in sleeping patterns or eating patterns, or if a child all of a sudden avoids social situations or doesn't enjoy going to school anymore. Unexplained gifts or money or items could also be a sign that they're being groomed or exploited. Some digital red flags to think about: if they have multiple or hidden social media accounts, sudden deletion of browsing history or apps, or receiving of inappropriate content online. Recognising these signs early can make a huge difference. If you notice any of these indicators, follow a safeguarding procedure and seek support. So we've just been talking about recognising the signs of harm. So you found out that something's happened. How do you respond? Well, it's like any safeguarding concern. You record it factually. What is the information you know? Record as much detail as you can, but keep it factual. And don't speculate. If a child has come to you with a disclosure, you should always respond calmly. If they've actually got something on their phone, don't view it, because by viewing it, you can put yourself in a difficult situation. So you must never view or share harmful content. And the next step is to report it to your DSL immediately. So if it's an imminent risk, you must find a member of the safeguarding team, or you can record it on CPOMs. It's also really important that you keep yourself safe online. How you use your own technology does matter. This includes professional boundaries on social media, secure password use, and compliance with GDPR. Be mindful of your digital reputation. What you post online could be shared widely. There are policies which can guide you through acceptable use, and there's always the staff code of conduct. The policies that you may wish to refer to are the online safety policy, the safeguarding policy, the behaviour policy, the data protection policy, and the acceptable use policy. As a final reminder, keep your phone away when you're in a public part of school and only use your school devices for school communication. To bring our training today to a close, please remember online safety is an essential part of safeguarding. Teaching online safety equips pupils with the skills to thrive and navigate the digital world. AI brings both opportunities and risks, and it's our role to help children navigate those safely. Filtering and monitoring is a system that supports good online behaviour, but knowledge through education is the best defence we can give our children. To bring our training today to a close, please remember online safety is an essential part of safeguarding. Teaching online safety equips pupils with the skills to thrive and navigate the digital world. AI brings both opportunities and risks, and it's our role to help children navigate those safely. Filtering and monitoring is a system that supports good online behaviour, but knowledge through education is the best defence we can give our children.